Okay, what people have been saying is real. Doing a PhD is more than earning a degree called Doctor of Philosophy. It also means permanent head damage. And there are lots of things you need to suffer from, including mental health issues. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Yahua, currently doing a PhD in Melbourne. So before I started my PhD, I heard people saying how common it is for PhD researchers to suffer from depression and anxiety. I kind of feel it right now since I'm in my third year. It's like boiling frog situation that everything seems fine for now, but if you're not doing enough, sooner or later you'll realize that you cannot graduate on time. Anyhow, today I want to chat with you what makes me anxious during the candidature and my experience of talking to a psychotherapist for the first time. First things first, I feel anxious about the future, especially the uncertainty in the job market. So I'm planning to finish my thesis next year, which also means that I need to think about the future after submission. So for PhD graduates, we usually either go to academia to find a job in university or research institute, or we can go to industries to find a commercial corporate job, or go to government, think tank, non-profit organizations to do policy or other kind of activities, or we can become entrepreneurs. It sounds like a lot of options, but it's also super hard. I think I might prioritize academic jobs, but in the meantime, I'm also not sure if this is the right path for me. Maybe because I heard too many stories of the dark side of academia. So I'm not sure if I can find a job in this precarious and super competitive job market, and I'm also not sure if I can stay in Australia or I need to move to another country, and I'm also not sure if I can maintain this kind of independence of supporting myself. So lots of self-doubts and uncertainties, and sometimes I even have insomnia because I just keep thinking about this non-stoppable. Another thing that troubles me is the feeling of isolation and loneliness. Maybe it's an issue with my PhD lifestyle. I live alone and I mostly work from home. I only go to the campus once a week, but now I don't often go to the university because I finished teaching. And most of my meetings are online. It's pretty much like a very isolated lifestyle, I would say. And I only meet my friends and have social events once in a while. But I also constantly have this self-imposed pressure and guilt of not using the time to work or write my thesis. I know that essentially doing a PhD is a lonely path because when I dive deeper into my research, the more specialized I become and the fewer people that I can share my research interests with. On top of that, I'm also an international student, which also means that there are always challenges with migrant identity, with issues like homesickness, worry about visa, and sense of belongings, etc. So all of these concerns make me feel that I'm stuck in a downward spiral. If I didn't take any action, then I wouldn't know how my mental health would become when the submission deadline is coming next year. So I decided to talk to a psychotherapist for the first time. Before I had my first digital counseling on 简单心理, I need to do 3 mental health questionnaires, and surprisingly, I didn't have any mental health issues at all, but I was still looking forward to visit a therapist and seeing if I was actually doing okay. Even though the therapist was a complete stranger to me, her voice is very comforting, and then I felt very relaxed when talking to her. She also mentioned that our conversation would be confidential, so I knew that it was a safe space where I can talk whatever I wanted. And I found the therapist very professional, and she brought me a new perspective to get to know myself, which I consider as a chance to clear my mind and map out all of my concerns all at once. I realized that I might focus too much on the negative side of the job market, and I forgot how to dream big. So the therapist guided me to think about what my dream job would look like, which made me think of my initial passion when I started my PhD, that is, to become a lecturer who is shining in the classroom, or to be a researcher who is passionate about doing doing academic research. And the therapy was like, she knew that it would be useless to tell me to stop worry about the future because I wouldn't listen. Instead, she guided me to dream big, stay grounded, focus on the present. It sounds very simple, but it was actually a good reminder for myself. If I can focus on whatever I'm doing at the moment, then it will naturally have an impact on my future self. Say, if I can focus on writing my thesis now, then it will lead to graduation. And if I can focus on pushing more papers out, then it will boost the potential of me getting hired in the job market. In other words, the future is in my own hand. So I wouldn't say that counseling offered me advice on how to solve real-life problems, but it did remind me it's normal to feel anxious about the future, and it also offered me some coping skills to allow me better manage my stress. And therapy also made me feel more certain about the things that I'm doing. I think this experience of talking to a therapist also made me rest assured that I'm on the right track to take care of my mental health. Here in Australia, people treat mental health as a very important thing, and there's even a "Are you okay" day to check on people's well-being. So I think in the future I will visit a therapist regularly. Anyway, I think mental health shares equal weights like physical health. There are lots of concerns during our journey to pursue the life that we want, but we can actually make this journey less scary and less lonely. I hope we can be resilient during these challenging times and believe in ourselves that we can overcome all the difficulties. Alright, that's all for today's content. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!